You've been lied to about wealth. The biggest myth in business isn't that money doesn't matter, or that success comes overnight. It's that getting rich requires grinding 18-hour days, sacrificing your health, and staying perpetually busy. Here's what nobody tells you. The wealthy work fewer hours than the middle class, yet they earn exponentially more. The hustle culture sold you a fantasy that equates motion with progress, busyness with success. But real wealth builders know a secret that destroys this entire narrative. They understand three principles that separate strategic wealth building from random activity spinning your wheels. Today, I'm showing you why doing less of the right things creates more wealth than doing more of everything. This isn't about being lazy. It's about being lethal with your focus. Most people confuse being busy with being productive. They fill their days with tasks, meetings, and activities that feel important but create zero lasting value. You see this everywhere. Entrepreneurs juggling 20 projects simultaneously. Employees staying late to look dedicated. Business owners micromanaging every detail. They're moving constantly but going nowhere financially. Real wealth comes from systems that work without your constant presence while you're trading hours for dollars. The wealthy are building assets that generate income while they sleep. This isn't motivational fluff. It's mathematical reality. When your income depends entirely on your active participation, you've created a job, not a business. Think about this practically. You can spend 8 hours a day doing client work, earning maybe $200 per hour if you're skilled. That caps you at $1,600 daily, assuming you never take breaks, never get sick, never want a vacation, but create one digital product that sells for $50. And if 1,000 people buy it monthly, you've generated $50,000 while you slept. The identity shift here is crucial. You need to stop seeing yourself as a hard worker and start seeing yourself as a strategic thinker. Hard workers get paid for their time. Strategic thinkers get paid for their results. Hard workers become more valuable by working longer hours. Strategic thinkers become more valuable by making their time less necessary. This is why your time should become less valuable, not more valuable. As you get richer, sounds counterintuitive, but follow the logic. If your income depends on your hours, you're trapped. Every vacation costs you money. Every sick day reduces your earnings. Every moment not working is lost opportunity. You've built a prison disguised as productivity. The wealthy flip this equation. They create value once and sell it repeatedly. They build systems that function independently. They design processes that scale without their direct involvement. Their goal isn't to become indispensable. It's to become unnecessary for daily operations, while remaining essential for strategic decisions. Most people make the opposite mistake. Instead of eliminating low-value activities, they add more tasks. Instead of deepening their impact in one area, they spread themselves across multiple mediocre opportunities. They see successful people working on many projects and assume that's the secret, missing the fact that those projects are interconnected systems, not random activities. The leverage principle demands you ask different questions. Instead of how can I work harder, ask how can I work less while achieving more. Instead of what should I add to my schedule, ask what should I eliminate from my life. Instead of how can I do this faster, ask how can I never have to do this again. This shift feels uncomfortable because we've been programmed to equate effort with worthiness. Doing less feels like cheating, like taking shortcuts, like being lazy. But the wealthy understand that efficiency isn't about doing things right. It's about doing the right things. And the right things are usually the things that create lasting value with minimal ongoing effort. And the people getting rich aren't working more. They're working smarter. They're not adding complexity. They're eliminating everything that doesn't directly contribute to their wealth-building objectives. They understand that true leverage comes from subtraction, not addition. Why diversifying your effort kills your income potential becomes clear when you understand how wealth actually compounds. The wealthy don't spread themselves thin across multiple mediocre opportunities. They obsess over one high-leverage skill until it pays massively. This goes against everything you've been taught about diversification. But diversification is for preserving wealth, not creating it. Most people see successful entrepreneurs with multiple income streams and assume they started with multiple income streams. That's backwards thinking. They built one stream so successfully that it funded the others. They mastered one skill so completely that it opened doors to everything else. They focused so intensely on one opportunity that it created the foundation for all future opportunities. The compound effect of depth versus the diminishing returns of breadth is mathematical. When you split your attention between 5 projects, you're not getting 20% results from each. You're getting maybe 5% results from each because switching costs, so learning curves, and divided attention destroy your effectiveness. You end up being mediocre at everything instead of exceptional at anything. Here's what this looks like practically. You could spend 2 hours daily on social media marketing, 2 hours on email campaigns, 2 hours on content creation, 2 hours on networking, and 2 hours on product development. You feel productive because you touched every area of your business, but you advanced none of them significantly. Alternatively, you could spend all 10 hours mastering one high-leverage skill like copywriting. In 6 months, you'd be competent. In a year, you'd be skilled. In 2 years, you'd be exceptional. That one skill could generate more income than all 5 mediocre efforts combined. Because exceptional skills command exceptional prices, the psychological resistance to doing less runs deep. We fear missing out on opportunities. We worry that focusing on one thing means abandoning everything else forever. We feel guilty about not maximizing every possibility, but saying no to good opportunities creates space for great ones. Think about your current situation honestly. How many projects are you juggling? How many skills are you trying to develop simultaneously? How many income streams are you attempting to build at once? If the answer is more than 1 or 2, you're probably trapped in the focus dilution that keeps most people poor. The wealthy understand that attention is your scarcest resource, more valuable than time or money. You can buy more time by hiring people. You can acquire more money through leverage and systems. But you cannot buy more attention. You have a fixed amount of mental energy daily, and how you allocate it determines everything. To identify your highest leverage activity, ask these questions. What generates the most income per hour invested? What skill, if mastered, would make everything else easier or unnecessary? What opportunity, if fully exploited, could fund all your other goals? What activity do you avoid because it's difficult, but you know it would transform your results? Once you identify that activity, eliminate everything else, not reduce. Eliminate. Cancel the side projects. Stop learning new skills. Abandon the backup plans. This feels terrifying, because we've been conditioned to believe that options equal security, but options equal distraction when you're trying to build wealth. The compound effect works in your favor only when you give it something to compound. Scattered efforts produce scattered results. Concentrated efforts produce exponential results. The difference between earning 50,000 and 500,000 isn't working 10 times harder. It's focusing your existing effort 10 times more precisely. Moving from doing the work to designing the work represents the fundamental shift that separates employees from entrepreneurs and entrepreneurs from wealthy business owners. When you're doing the work, you're trading time for money. When you're designing the work, you're creating systems that trade time for money on your behalf. How the wealthy think about problems reveals everything. Solve once, benefit forever. Poor people solve the same problems repeatedly. Middle-class people solve problems efficiently. Wealthy people solve problems systematically, so they never have to solve them again. The difference between working in your business versus on your business isn't just semantic. It's the difference between being self-employed and being an owner. Working in your business means you're the most expensive employee. Working on your business means you're building something that functions without you. Building systems that scale without your direct involvement requires a complete mindset overhaul. Instead of asking, how do I do this task better? Ask, how do I eliminate this task entirely? Instead of, how do I become faster at this? Ask, how do I automate this process? Instead of, how do I handle more volume? Ask, how do I create systems that handle volume automatically? Manual processes keep you trapped in the hustle cycle because they require your constant presence. Every manual process is a chain binding you to your business. Every task that only you can do is a limitation on your growth and freedom. Every process that depends on your memory, your skills, or your availability is a bottleneck, preventing scale. The mindset shift from "I must do everything" to "I must eliminate everything I don't need to do" feels counterintuitive when you're used to being busy. But your job as a wealth builder isn't to stay busy. It's to become strategically lazy. Strategic laziness means working intensely to avoid working permanently. Creating value through subtraction, not addition, becomes your new operating principle. Instead of adding more tasks to your day, subtract unnecessary activities. Instead of learning more skills, master the systems that make skills unnecessary. Instead of working longer hours, design processes that work while you sleep. Wealth comes from strategic subtraction, not endless addition. While everyone else is adding tasks, projects, and complexity to their lives, you'll be eliminating everything that doesn't directly build your financial future. This week, identify your one highest leverage activity and eliminate 3 low-value tasks that are stealing your focus. Subscribe for more unconventional wealth strategies that actually work.